Sometimes, Excel users need to do data entry. This task is somewhat boring, isn't it? But Excel offers many shortcuts and helpful features that can make the work faster and easier. To explain these ideas clearly, imagine that I am working on a simple worksheet where I want to keep track of sales for the first 6 months of the year. Let's say I run a small business out of my home, and I want to record my sales, the expenses I pay each month, and hopefully the profit I make. For something this small, I only need around 6 or 7 columns. Since the worksheet looks a bit small on my screen, I might choose to zoom in so the text looks bigger and clearer. After zooming in, I can see that my data will probably extend across to about column G for 6 months. You can move to any cell by using the arrow keys on the keyboard, which can be quick and convenient. You can also use the mouse. Simply point to the cell you want, then click the left mouse button to select it. There is always a single cell that Excel considers the active cell. This is the cell where any typing will appear. You can always see its name in the name box, which is located just above the column letters on the left side. Right now, it is showing A2 because that is the cell I selected. I type the word sales, and I notice right away that the text appears on the left side of the cell. This is normal. Excel lines up text on the left by default. If necessary, I could change this later, but for now, I will leave it as it is. To complete, press Enter to move the active cell downward. Other ways are pressing Tab moves the active cell to the right. Or I can use any of the arrow keys to move in any direction I want. I press Enter, and now I want to type expenses. This spelling is common in some countries like Britain and Canada. After typing it, I pressed Enter and suddenly realized that I made a spelling mistake. Instead of the letter C, I want the letter S. No need to delete the entire word and retype it. You can edit directly inside the cell. I can move the mouse near the letter I want to change and double-click with the left mouse button. Double-clicking activates editing mode. Now I can press backspace to delete the letter and type the correct one. Then pressing Enter again completes the change. A moment later, I decide that expenses might not be the best label. Maybe overhead is a better term for the costs I want to record. I do not have to clear the cell first. I simply type right over the existing text. Excel replaces it automatically. I then press Enter again and type profit as the next label. Now I want to enter data for the first 6 months. Now imagine this situation. I have my caps lock on because I was using it earlier. Suppose I start typing a number like 130, but I accidentally hit the letter O instead of 0 because they are close to each other on the keyboard. I then press Tab to move to the next right cell and type 170 correctly. When I look back, I notice that the first entry does not line up correctly with the rest of the numbers. The 2 zeros look different. This is because Excel treats anything containing a letter as text, so the first entry is considered a text value, not a number. That means Excel will not treat it like a true number in calculations. To fix this, I simply type the correct number over it. When working with numbers, we learn early on to line them up on the right side, and Excel does this automatically. Dates and numbers are always right aligned, while text entries are left aligned. Once the first row of numbers is corrected, I continue entering the next 4 numbers, pressing Tab after each one. After I finish the 6th entry and press Enter, Excel automatically moves the active cell back to column B, which is very convenient. And I will put in some numbers here correctly, each time pressing Tab to move to the next cell. Next, I want to add headings for each month in column B. Instead of typing January, February, March, and so on, Excel offers a faster method using a feature called AutoFill. To demonstrate this, I switch briefly to another worksheet named AutoFill. This sheet contains the same data, and in cell B1, I already have Jan, short for January. Instead of typing the other months manually, I click cell B1 and move my mouse to the small square in the lower right corner of the cell. This square is called the fill handle. Normally, the mouse pointer looks like a thick white plus sign, but when I hover over the fill handle, it becomes a thin black plus sign that looks like crosshairs. When I hold down the left mouse button and drag to the right, Excel automatically fills the next months across the row. I can drag all the way to December or even past it. If I drag beyond December, Excel continues with the months of the next year. The same thing happens when I drag downward. Starting with January in cell B7, dragging down produces February, March, and so on. Excel recognizes the pattern and continues it automatically. If I start with another month, like March, dragging right or down produces April, May, June, and so on. I can even drag upward if needed, and Excel will move backwards through the months. If I make a mistake or drag too far, pressing Ctrl+C undoes the last action. AutoFill also works with days of the week. If I type Friday in a cell, then drag downward, Excel fills in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and so on. You can also use three-letter abbreviations such as MON for Monday, TUE for Tuesday, or FRI for Friday. Just remember that abbreviations must be exactly 3 letters for AutoFill to understand the pattern. For example, TUES or THUR will not work correctly. The same rule applies to months. Excel recognizes SEP for September but not SEPT. AutoFill is also useful when working with quarters, such as Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Typing Q1 and dragging down will automatically fill Q2, Q3, and Q4, then start over again at Q1. The same thing happens when dragging sideways. Excel understands these patterns and repeats them correctly. You can also write QTR1 or Quarter1, and Excel will handle the sequence similarly. All these shortcuts make data entry much faster. Instead of typing everything manually, you let Excel recognize the pattern and extend it for you. This reduces typing errors and speeds up your work. As mentioned earlier, numbers will always line up on the right side, and text on the left side. Later in Excel, you will learn how to change alignment when needed, but for now, it is helpful to understand how Excel handles data entry by default. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll explore working with dates and times in Excel, including how to enter them correctly. Don't miss it! If you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and share the video to support the channel and help others learn Excel more easily.